Mixta, mixta, time for the mixta. Mixta, mixta, come get your mixta.
Yo, 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 Mixta Boyz back in this bitch.
We
Your
back.
boy Max.
Tucci's
and Fats.
And today we got a very special guest, the homie Kyle Spirit.
What's up?
Came back to the squad real quick after moving to Arizona, so figured we gotta get this episode in, which is
Gotta
going to
get
be
it in,
a
man.
big
Gotta
one.
see my boys.
You know,
They-
number one person to talk to in our collective of friends about conspiracy theories.
Everybody loves a good conspiracy.
You know, we're pretty much the guest on this one. We're gonna let Kyle go ahead and take it from here, man.
Oh man,
Start off
Where
wherever
we
you
wanna
want.
start, man.
where do we start? There's so many of them out there.
And they're growing by the day.
You know?
Let's start with the one everyone knows about, 9/11.
9/11.
9/11.
9/11.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right.
I mean, I think by now, I'm kind of like, it's not even conspiracy to me no more. It's like
Yeah.
that shit was planned.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: you believe a plane hit the buildings?
I believe
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe a plane hit the building.
But I don't think that's
I don't
what
think
brought it
fell
down.
like- I don't think that's what brought it down, though.
No. Yeah, everyone knows what brought it down.
Yeah,
Demolition.
controlled demolition.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Looked like.
Yeah.
And I mean, I remember, I was middle school when that happened.
It was 2003.
I was 13. So I remember waking, because my dad's in the military. I lived in military housing, so I remember waking up, just hearing it on the news, going to school. All the teachers told us, and when I first seen the videos, I was like, I just knew, like, in my head, like, yo, that's not how that shit works.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a skyscraper this tall, and it hit like what, maybe like 3/4 up. Now, if it would have slid through the bottom, maybe I could believe it falling down.
There you go.
But if you're hitting something tall on the top, you're gonna tilt it at least a little bit, where you're gonna get debris further in that direction.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Fall
then it's
into
kind of
the
gonna
building.
fall down like Jenga, you know. Like, but I knew there was something was fishy back then, but I didn't really care because whatever. I was like, oh, that's crazy. I'm glad we cool over here in Cali. You know what I mean? But yeah, how you guys feel about that shit?
Well, I definitely know that it was fucking. I know that it's real, man. Yeah, how did that one dude's social and his ID just end up on the side of the building unburnt? Like somebody just tossed it like.
And probably
Damn.
was the little bomber dude.
Especially what, Tower 7? What was it? Tower 7?
Oh, Tower 7, the
Tower
ones
7,
we
yeah.
want to talk about.
Yeah.
That never gets no mainstream news. And then don't forget, like, within that same kind of time period, the Pentagon got hit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
With a plane that just had like a straight hole.
No, but there's video. There's video of a gas station that's right in front of the Pentagon that showed that there was never a plane.
Oh, it's video from the gas station.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I don't think there was ever video of it hitting. It was just video of the aftermath, I think. From the
No, and then
Pentagon,
they have
right?
another video where it looks like the airplane hits, but there's no airplane, so it looks like it's just a missile hitting the plane.
Yeah,
I mean, the
I've
building.
seen that one.
Yeah.
That's the one I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, that shit, and I think, for a while, kind of everyone turned their back, like, hey, Jadakiss said, why did Bush knock down the towers? Like, everyone figured Bush was behind it somehow. I don't know if he was or wasn't, as far as that part of the conspiracy. I don't know. But that shit don't seem natural that those planes just hit the building. And they
I
fell the way
believe.
they did.
I believe he was part of it because that was the beginning of where we are at today. Because that's
the Middle
what.
East shit?
Yeah, because that's what started the invasion of Afghanistan, and now it's pushed through so many other things now.
Well, he never flinched when the planes hit the building. He was reading to
Children. Yeah.
Oh, did you
and-
see? Supposedly there was a code in that. I saw that part of the
That I
conspiracy
didn't
theory.
see.
That the stuff, the sentences he was reading, it was a simple kid book, but it was kind of like a code for what was happening about the 9/11. So if you haven't seen that part of conspiracy, I would have to find the YouTube link on it. But I do remember seeing that exactly the words he happened to be reading at the same time the news came was like a coded message, which was, and it wasn't that much of a reach. Usually a lot of these things are reaches. This word means this, so if you put it here, like it was kind of like straightforward as far as like this and this and this. So I'm gonna find that shit. I'll put that shit in the link for you. But shit, what about? I mean, this motherfucker's probably like 3 when that shit happened.
No, I was in like 3rd grade.
Yeah, so
He was
shit.
3.
I was.
He was 12.
But he looked 26.
But yeah, I mean, shit. 9/11 is I think one now that it kind of got away from conspiracy theory, where I would say probably over 50% of the people believe it was an inside job.
Yeah,
by now.
I would agree.
Which I don't know. I mean, personally, that's what would be my benchmark. If 50% of the country agrees that something happened, whether we know or not, I don't know, because there's a lot of dumb people too. I think
Yeah.
there is some people, man.
There are.
There are some people out there, but
Around them every
I
day.
mean, yeah, that's definitely a good one to touch on. So for all those that were, third grade or younger, and like about 9/11, but you don't really feel that, because that was a big day in America.
Oh yeah.
So I
And
mean,
it was big because my birthday is the next day.
Damn.
damn.
So
So you celebrated.
It was just weird seeing all that happen, and then my birthday being the next day, and then it just didn't really feel like a birthday.
Just killed the buzz of your birthday.
Yeah,
and
because
shit.
like obviously all
A
the
little
attention
sad.
and everybody's energy was focused on the events of what was going on, and they didn't know whether if it was going to hit
So where
California.
did you first hear the news? Was it at school or before school?
Nah, so
it happened early morning, I believe, like our time, California.
we were at I want to say we were at a hotel somewhere, and we seen it in the news.
Oh, okay. Yeah, on the TV.
Yeah, we seen it on
What about
the news
you?
on TV.
I was in bed and my mom came in my room and said, Kyle, an airplane hit a building. I just like, oh, cool. I just kind of rolled back over and went back to bed till the second plane hit. That's
Yeah.
what got me out of the bed.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy to hear about two planes. But usually you only see video of that first impact one.
Yeah.
It's the
And what's
main
crazy is they
video.
said that the dudes who hijacked the plane had no training, had
And
no
box cutters.
like
Which was in everybody's stand-up special around that time. You know what I mean? Every stand-up comedian had a 9/11 joke about box cutters and this and that, what they would have done and shit. I mean, this motherfucker's in third grade, so he probably heard it and didn't even remember hearing it. Yeah.
No, whoa.
So it was the first time like it had impact
Well,
to you?
when
that
I
was
was
probably
in
still in
class
that
when
time.
it happened. I had school that day, and the teacher was like panicking because apparently she knew people that were in New York.
Yeah.
So she was worried that she put it on the news on TV when we were all in school. And we were just free time. Fuck that. We don't care about the news. We're not watching that.
Third grade.
But it was on. It was on in the background, and then she was like panicking, and we were just like, "Oh, teacher's having a fucking panic attack." We're
So
just
what was the
enjoying
first time
ourselves.
that it hit you though? Like
It never
when
hit
you were
me.
like, so never as you got older, you're like, damn, that's actually fucking crazy. I can't believe. Like,
Well, no, like towards like
that they
high
would
school.
sacrifice all those people.
Yeah, it's like when I looked into it, it's like, oh, this
What do you
shit.
think?
So he's like, it was faked.
yeah,
So I was like, oh, okay, let me look more into it. Then there's like Tower 7 happened. And then the whole thing with the Pentagon, it was like, I looked at the videos when I got older. It was like, it's just a fucking blur. It's no wings on that video when it hit the Pentagon. It looks like straight
Yeah.
like a white little blur. So it's like, you can't even tell what it is.
yeah. This is
Not only that, but like every video or picture that they've shown of an airplane, there's no motor, there's no metal, there's no nothing. A plane will not disintegrate.
It looked like a big ass slug.
You know,
I mean, like
Like-
a big old bullet slug. Almost.
It looked like a bus almost in the video.
But the video wasn't like the best either. I mean, at least for the Pentagon one. But I mean,
fake.
speaking of not good videos, I mean, I know you got your little list, but here's one I thought that kind of transitions is I don't know what you guys' beliefs are or were, because mine definitely changed on Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, Yetis. Because when I was young, you couldn't tell me there wasn't such a thing as Bigfoot or
Yeah.
Loch Ness Monster. Like, I wanted to go over there to the lake to see for myself. You know, I was that just fascinated by it.
Go
But I
fishing
was-
and catch it.
Yeah, I was so fascinated by all, like, any kind of crazy stories, like Greek and Roman mythology and, like, shit like that. And that shit, I love that shit. So Bigfoot, Loch Ness, aliens, all that shit was in there for me. So
Chupacabra.
I guess Chupacabra, you know, the fucking, you know, Bible and Smoke Man and shit. So I guess we'll go down the list. Like,
hold up, Kyle's friend in Arizona or somewhere
Ooh.
has a picture.
I actually have pictures, and I'm going to have to just get it up on the internet so you guys can reference this somewhere.
pictures of which one?
I don't know
Bigfoot?
what it is.
Yeti?
My mom's friend were out hunting or doing something, and they came across some sort of animal that was just mauling on something, just eating something. And it was probably from, 100 yards or 100 feet away or so. So they were walking towards it, and they had guns. Well, as they got close to it, and it got, noticed they were there, it started attack. Went in attack mode and went after them, like just rah. So they shot it. Whatever it was, they shot it. And they took a picture of it, and it looked like a miniature crocodile or alligator type looking thing.
mixed with like a dog or like a small
Yeah,
dog
with
or
some
something.
What the
dog,
fuck?
but it's like a dog size.
like,
Chupacabra.
like razor sharp teeth.
Yeah, it was like a long snout type nose, like a crocodile type looking thing. I couldn't tell if it was scale or fur, but either way, the guys picked it up to take it home. FBI showed up at their house that night
What the
What?
fuck?
to pick it up. Yeah, whatever it was tracked. So
What?
the FBI or CIA, whatever it was, showed up at that house, almost arrested them for doing whatever they did.
And this is a personal story. This is not no YouTube shit.
No,
This is
no. This is a
someone
personal
your
story
family
from
member
my
knows.
Yeah, and I've
mom's
seen the
friends,
picture.
and
I've
I
seen it.
have the picture.
I've seen that
What?
shit.
Picture. I have
I've
the
seen that
picture.
shit.
What?
I've seen that shit.
See,
So-
now in that list of legendary animals,
Yeah.
Chupacabra for me was always the one that I was like, that was probably the most believable because it's small, little. You know, if it lives in environments, not a lot of people around. And I think there's a lot of animals out there that we haven't discovered.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, especially I believe it more
Especially-
because in the desert, people crossing,
Like
a lot of
water.
people go missing, and then it's still alive, and people still talk about it. So I was imagining growing up, it feeds off the people that go and missing in the desert.
Catch you slipping.
Yeah.
Catch you slipping. I mean, yeah, but so how? Okay, so I guess we'll kind of go through the list. How y'all feeling about the Chupacabra?
I mean, there's a lot of
Especially now hearing this.
You gotta believe
There's a lot of great stories about it, man. You know,
it's a Mexican folklore, I believe,
Yeah.
right? It's more in that culture of, I guess this area, like the southwestern area down the Mexico area, kind of where
yeah,
they're supposed
yeah,
to be.
because there's a lot.
spotted.
It's a lot of desert. You know, a lot of free land, open range land. You know.
It scared the shit
Now,
out of me as a kid.
Is it a desert thing or is it a woods thing or does it matter? Is it in the snow? Is it any like?
I don't know.
I don't know the stories on like.
I've always
Don't
heard it
memorize.
like in the complete desert,
Yeah.
like nothing around. That's all the stories I've heard.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, like, who just roams the desert? No one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, whatever's out there is
Always-
obviously not being recorded or, you know, being captured because
But it is
obviously
being
no
tracked.
one's just out there
It's
chilling in
being
the
tracked. It
desert.
seems like that's.
Well, if it's being
So if you had
tracked,
to, I mean, would you say that would fall into the Chupacabra realm of what you think maybe it would have been, or just a whole other creature?
I think it was experimental creature. Something that
crossbreed
there
or
was
some shit.
experiment, is some sort of crossbreed that they had out. They let loose to see what it would do.
Hey,
where it
well,
would
you know,
go.
love is love, so anybody can fuck anything now.
Well,
so.
man-made Chupacabra,
dog,
a
alligator.
man-made Chupacabra, and that's how they were able to track it. Maybe
There
they
you go.
implanted it with the chip before they let it loose.
Maybe just to see its patterns, where it goes,
Yeah.
where it migrate shit. I mean, maybe. I mean, that's crazy because that's kind of the first I've ever heard about someone having a personal experience with the shit.
yeah.
That's crazy.
And
Yeah,
I believe it. You know, if you guys say that shit, I believe it.
yeah.
As far as that particular animal, so Chupacabra, I am about 75%. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
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 Definitely.
How we feel about Bigfoot? This is
Bigfoot, nah.
2020. We're thinking about now.
Nah.
See, I believe that Bigfoot does
We'll do
exist.
like a Bigfoot / Yeti.
I believe he does exist, you know, because, bro, there's so much crazy shit that goes on in this world that how could that fool not exist? All the nuclear bombs that have been dropped and all this shit been like, you know, fucking irritated and all this shit with the radiation, man. Like, some shit had to have been fucked up. You know what I mean?
Well, as you go up
Chernobyl,
north,
man.
well, here in California, when you drive up north towards like the redwoods, there's a whole little side tourist spot where the Bigfoot's like sightings are
yeah.
and everything. But
Yeah.
with that, it's like there's no visible proof, there's no photos, no videos.
And they had the old video back in the day, which I believe was proved to be faked by some
Yeah.
dude in a
In
suit.
Santa Cruz,
Yeah.
they have the Bigfoot Museum.
No, I didn't know about that either.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to believe it really bad. Like, I believe maybe at one time on Earth there was like a Yeti type of creature, like a kind of a primate man type woodland creature. But I would think like just based off what I could think, like common sense. Like we seen old shit. We've heard of the Bigfoot. Like in order for it to still be alive, it will have to be like an immortal creature. B, have to be something maybe like most mammals don't live that long. Mammals, other than maybe like I believe whales or something. You know, like reptiles and shit live for a long ass time. Obviously, insects have shorter lives, all that other shit. So based off that, it would appear to be somewhat of a mammal. So if this thing's been in all these years, it would have to reproduce. I've never seeing a grouping of them, there need to be a Mrs. Bigfoot for them to fucking make a little baby Bigfoot to carry on the legacy. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm thinking maybe it was something that was just when I was younger, and that was the last of it, or maybe it just wasn't real.
Well, there's cases of like people in Mexico that I know that have like their whole face covered in hair.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah. And everything. So now imagine a dude who's like 6'8",
yeah,
full like that, covered
Bigfoot's
in hair.
like, I believe, 8 feet or 10 feet or some shit?
Nah, hell no.
No?
Nah, I want to say he's like 6'8", 7 foot.
That thing still can't see me in the pose, bro. I'm like, you know how this footwork, bro.
So that will maul you. Maul you.
How we feel about Bigfoot right now?
I want to believe him, but right now it's like a 20% that he's real.
Only 20%?
I believe it.
Believe it, 100?
I would say a good 85.
I believe it because I believe he's an interdimensional being, and this is the reason why we have sightings of him, but we don't have
like he exits the portal and
bodies.
shit? He's just
We don't. Yeah. We don't have full physical proof. We don't have
we don't have a
pictures,
skeleton
videos.
anywhere.
We don't have droppings.
Yeah.
That was never shitted anywhere.
So that's why I think he's an interdimensional being.
Damn, that's a whole other twist on Bigfoot. So you're 100% on the Bigfoot, or what's your percentage?
I think there's some
90?
creatures out there. I would have to say 90%. Yeah,
90. I think I'm about 10%. That is,
Okay. He's a non-believer, guys.
yeah, I don't know.
Non-believer.
I don't know if I will. Not anymore. Not today. Maybe at one point in time, but I don't think in 2020. Nah. And then the other creatures. What are the creatures? Oh, the Loch Ness monster.
Global warming is dead. That's what I think now.
That's it.
Fuck, with global warming, I'm pretty sure a bunch of shit's coming out that was
Well,
frozen.
that's what I'm
on
saying.
the
Wouldn't
ice
it
cap.
die? Wouldn't it? It would have to float up, right?
Yeah.
At one point in time.
Well, what I hear is that like with fishers, when they catch the big fish and they throw it back after they're done gutting it, as long as you like poke out the eyes with the air and everything, it just sinks. Nothing will float back up.
Yeah, but no one ever caught that motherfucker. Ain't nobody poke out no Loch Ness eye, dog.
It got fucked up by the sharks. It got ate by the Kraken.
No, because we obviously heard of that, of old time days of it, and there is giant squids for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Today's
Oh,
water is
They-
something I'm a little
ship
more
size.
like it could be true because we haven't even reached the depths of all the depths of water.
But the Loch Ness
Not
monster's
only-
in the lake.
Not only that, but like I was saying, like underneath the water, there's ice caps that still have a bunch of life under there.
Yeah,
So
We're
it's,
trapped in it.
so yeah, exactly.
little
So
dry ice on the bottom, keep
so
it cool.
you know what I mean. So it's just like there's just a bunch of shit. Plus, I want to say the ocean's been explored maybe like 7 to 10% or something like that.
Yeah,
'cause
but
then
this
they
is a lake though, so it doesn't,
Yeah.
Now, I guess I want to say in the more recent years that technology has increased, I believe they scanned the lake, like with sonar, radar, and thermal, all that shit, and they didn't really find anything that fell into the lines of a Loch Ness monster. So, me personally, I mean, to get the vote going, I'm going to give that shit like a 2%, bro. Probably believe that less than a Bigfoot.
Okay.
Just because it's in a confined area. So if it's not there, it's not like I hopped out, went to the ocean.
Nah, I feel it. I feel it. Shit, I probably have to give it like a 45.
45. 45% is
I'm
still
giving
out
it
there.
a 10%.
10%? What we got over
Yeah.
here?
25, just
All
because
right.
haven't looked into it and haven't really experienced much
Yeah.
of it.
I see. All right, what you got? What you got next up for us? The big spirit.
Oh man, dinosaurs.
Dinosaur.
Oh, that's a good transition. Lock
Which-
this to the dinosaur.
Hey, it's a water dinosaur.
This is gonna be a touchy subject. Fuck.
What about dinosaurs though?
Were they real?
Are they real?
Were they real?
I believe they were.
I believe they were.
I believe they were as
They
well.
were.
Yeah.
I used to think there was, but I'm starting to kind of catch on to like maybe there's not. Maybe there's not.
What if I told you they never exist?
I'll believe
Well,
it because
why?
I never
Why
seen
would,
one.
so what would be your explanation on why
Yeah.
they didn't exist?
Hide the titans.
Hide the
Hide the
Titan.
giants.
So you think some of the bones that were found were giants instead of?
They never talked about the giants, and we have skulls the size of a car that they've found
Like
Yeah.
what?
of human giants.
Yeah.
What? Fuck. So you think that the dinosaurs was a cover up for the giants and
Yeah.
titans and
All these large bones that they needed to.
Now, are these giants from the Anunnaki, or are they just Earth giants.
That's a good
Vikings that
question.
fucked
I couldn't tell ya.
Anunnakis.
Now, was one of them hairy that they became King Kong?
Damn, now we're getting into cryptozoology.
Well, now you're going as far as we have statue living beings the size of King Kong that are in stones, that are in stone now.
Yeah. I mean, you
Tortoises,
see dinosaurs, man.
snakes.
When I was young, I loved dinosaurs. You know, Jurassic Park, when that shit came out, that was like the best movie ever. I hella wanted to believe, and I did, but here we are, 2020, and I feel like you don't hear no new findings, and we have more technology than ever to dig and to find shit in dirt without even having to dig. Where like in the 90s, it was like every weekend.
Hold on, though. In the 90s was what, 20 years from now, right?
20 years ago.
20 years ago, and we were dealing with a whole nother mess. Internet was just coming, all this shit was just popping out. Now we're dealing with fucking so much craziness in this world that I don't think there's enough like mental capacity to even fucking think of things like that, because now we're thinking about Antifa and all this other crazy shit, you know?
I mean, and I have seen and heard that there is still findings, like they still are finding bones and shit, but it's not mainstream media no more. It's not like guess what? They just pulled out a whole fucking T-Rex yesterday. Like, it's kind of just like, hey, if you want it, it's online somewhere. Check it out. We're going to be talking about, like you said, like all this other shit.
Hey, but those are probably the videos you got to pay attention to the most, because they're not giving you bullshit media.
Well, something that is facts is that no one's ever found a full skeleton. Most of the skeletons you see in museums have been pieced together artificially, you know,
reconstructed and
whatever
shit.
bones they think we're missing and shit.
Yeah, they say like 40% of all it's 40% of the real bones, and everything else is just fillers. Like,
yeah. And I saw a meme. I don't know if you guys see this meme that said it was like one of those spoken high memes. It's like the fact that we decided, like, we figured out what dinosaur noises were without everyone ever hearing them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we assume they were like, and they just be like, you know what I mean? Like, we don't know.
Just squeaking.
You know, you got a big ass T-Rex.
They sound, just because it looked hella crazy, don't mean it sounded crazy.
They said it was kind of like a cousin of a chicken, the way the body was set up.
What if they were
but eat niggas, terrible and shit.
What if they were mute? What if they didn't even say anything?
Yeah, they're just silent killers.
I seen some
like
shit
lizards.
one time that they said that like the T-Rex is the chicken. It just evolved into the chicken.
Damn.
Yeah, I saw that.
And it was because of the hands and everything. And they went from being the most dominated creature to basically
getting dominated.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, they're still alive then. If that's the case, they still around.
Yeah.
I mean, look at snakes and cockroaches, man. Cockroaches been one of the first things that been around since forever.
Yeah, insects have been around for a long time, I think.
You know?
The dinosaur thing is just like, I feel like, now I'm not like much of a religious guy, but they are mentioned in the Bible, and I know the time period was way before the Bible. Supposedly they're here before humans even, which is like, well, that wasn't mentioned in the Bible, that God created some shit before humans. It was like 7 days humans.
Yeah.
You know, so maybe there's like a missing story of like, because there was no one to write about the dinosaurs.
Bro, that was in the extended cut.
Director's cut.
You didn't get that version, dog?
Like,
Come on.
even in the history of like, you know, Bible history, Egyptian history, ancient Chinese history, Chinese did believe in the dragons, which I'm like, maybe that was some dinosaur shit. But it's like, you don't hear about, like, in their ancient history, about them finding a lot of bones. And so there would have been, if there had been thousands of less amount of sand and dirt they would have to dig to find them. You know, like, so I'm like, how did the Egyptians never find a dinosaur bone in the desert?
I think when China finally gets tired of the U.S., they're gonna unleash the dragons, man.
Damn,
No.
Game of Thrones in it.
You know what I mean? Unleash the dragons, baby.
But how you guys feel about dinosaurs? You think
I believe
they
they're
exist? We obviously know they're not alive now.
Yeah.
But do you believe they exist?
Yeah. Because there's hell yeah. Because there's still some animals that have traces to dinosaurs that are still alive today, man. So that's the proof right there.
I'm about 60-40 on dinosaurs.
You know,
60-40, 60, yeah?
60, yeah, 40. Like, there's parts that, like, because one, like you said, how do they sound without really knowing what they sounded like?
Yeah,
Like we made
that's
Make you think.
a good point.
And it's like, and not only that, it's like I never. It's like the
Hold
bones.
up.
The bones in there are only
Hold
40% in the museum, so
Hold
it's like
the
not even
fuck
a
up.
complete.
Did somebody time travel and hear the noises and record them.
Ooh, that brings us to our next topic. But what's the vote on dinosaurs right now?
I believe it. Yeah,
100,
yeah.
60-40. I'm 50-50. My vote's still up for grabs. My vote's still up for grabs. I was 100 and now I dropped 50. So
2 cheese, 1 2.
if you guys show me a good video, I might convert.
40-60.
40-60 now?
Yeah, and the other thing with me is like the whole fossil fuels thing. Is like we run out of gas, but everybody still driving cars. We still have using hella gas. It's like that's a lie to me.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Now, as far as like, let me just say,
gas?
woolly mammoths and saber-tooth tigers, I put them in a different category. Like, then I think those are real.
Yeah, they
I
were.
don't know. I mean, sometimes they get included in these movies and shit. Yeah, but I think those are real descendants of like what we have today. So it's kind of easy.
Shout out Sabretooth from X-Men.
Yeah. Shit. But into your next topic,
Time travelers.
Time traveling.
Bro, I've seen some crazy ass YouTube videos of like people who are about to get run the fuck over, and then all of a sudden, just like something, just a little time traveler dude just comes out of nowhere, or a looper, you want to call it, just come out the way and just save them. And then I've seen some videos of just cars coming out of nowhere, bro, just like in the highway, they just pop up.
What the fuck?
Or even people just walking out of thin air.
Yep.
Yeah, like I seen a video the other day where a dude was watching replaying his GoPro while he was driving, and everything was good, and he stopped at a light, and all of a sudden a big ass semi or bus appeared on the opposite side of the road.
Yeah, bro.
And I was like,
damn,
what the fuck? I rewatched it too, and it's like the car was there when the video was rolling, and then when it stopped, when he stopped his car at the light, the truck appeared. I'm like,
well, there's that one. I can't think of the fucking name right now, but the United States tried to create that time machine. Remember with the ship?
Oh yeah.
And they ended up going, but when the ship came back, everybody was fused to the ship.
Yep. They merged into the.
They made a movie out of it, and it was a real thing.
No shit?
Nah, fuck no, not Ghost Ship. I can't think of the fucking name right now for some reason. Damn.
Nah, I don't see. Fuck, because that kind of ties in with like the Bermuda Triangle conspiracy. It's like, was it just like a portal or something there that things don't get found, or a the whirlpool or some shit? But fuck, I don't know. Like watching videos, especially in today's climate, like it's hard to believe, to know. You can't even see you can't even believe what you see.
What about about those time traveling videos of the people who predict some of the future that happens right now so far?
Nostradamus?
The Simpsons?
Nah, there's like we've seen some videos of like people who like come out and they're like, yo, I'm a time traveler from this time. You may not believe me. I don't care if you don't believe me. I'm just trying to give you this information so you don't fuck up.
Yeah.
Like our time where we're at is so fucked up because of this and that. Like we're trying to give you this information so you don't repeat it, And it's like some of the shit that they talk about that's like in the future is pretty crazy because we're damn near it. And some of the things are so close to what we're going through right now that it makes you think like, oh shit, like,
is there a time travel?
Like, does this shit really exist? Not only that, but Elon on Rogan talked about how within the next 5 to 10 years, there's just going to be all telepathic communication. Now,
trying to do that. Yeah,
if telepathic communication is available to the human capabilities, why isn't time travel? Which is...
Because that's fucking with a whole other dimension.
Yeah. But it falls into the same type of
you're
categories.
You're breaking some type of barrier. I mean, I don't know the theory behind
it,
but...
atoms.
You're splitting more than just matter. You're splitting something that goes beyond matter. Like, you're splitting time. Like, time is a constraint. Time was made up by humans. Like, time was like a way we try to keep track of shit by the sun, moon, and that became days, calendars, hours, minutes. So, it's like, fuck, to think... I don't know. Like... Because I think if there was time travelers... So
what do you think about time zones? Because from right here to the East Coast, it's 3 hours away, but when you come back...
I think time zones was definitely be covered in a later topic. But I think...
but then again, that's like what Max just said, which is man-made.
It's man-made.
Yeah.
What was... Before someone came up with time zones, there was none.
Yeah.
Before people came up with 24 hours in a day, it was just sun, moon. Day, night. That's it. Building a high sun, You know what I mean? The moon,
probably
full moon, half moon, all that shit.
Everybody thought at that time, oh, we're seeing the sun. Everybody else around the world seeing
Now,
the
I've
sun.
seen all those like pictures, like I think fucking Pharrell's and that fucking time traveler and shit. 'Cause it was like,
yeah.
I think there's a lot of people that people could look like. Man,
Yeah.
You know, I think that's possible. For me, it's a no for me, dog. I'm gonna go with 0.0001%.
Time travelers.
Yeah. What do you think? What you think?
I'll give it about a good 12-15%.
When I hear the government has a technology called the looking glass, this what gives me the idea of how they can see the future.
Like in the movie Deja Vu.
So it's almost like a witch with her little glass ball, and that's how they represent a witch. She's looking in her glass ball and she's seeing whatever events happening. Well, I believe the government has such technology that can actually see into the future, and this is how they see the time or see the what's in the future. Now, physical bodies traveling is very possible. Military has this technology because of military has basically stolen every advancement technology that could have.
Sure. And China's been stealing our shit.
Not only that, but if we go back to the Bob Lazar shit, like he was working on those things that were bending light,
shit.
that were doing those type of things. So, you know what I mean?
And we
like,
also don't know how much acid he did in the 70s. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm pretty sure that dude was a square.
Burned a little hole in his brain there.
Pretty sure he was a square, bro.
What do you think? What time travel?
I think that the government does have access to certain things like that. Like, but they use it to their own advantage. Like, if they want something to be in place, they'll do stuff like, if they do have time travel, they'll go and make sure that it actually happens.
Here's a simple one, not to get too political. Do you think people had that power and still let us have the leaders we had?
No, I'm
people
pretty
saw Hitler coming and were like, fuck it. People saw, all these other, Gaddafi and saw Stalin. They're like, fuck it. World wars. And they're like, what's happening? Oh, fuck it.
See, but I'm pretty sure that was all to follow an agenda, just to see how it goes. Yeah. I don't think there was just
you think it's one of those things where like you can look but don't touch because you're gonna fuck shit up.
But as soon as they reach the point of, all right, now we're gonna go in and be like the heroes. Now we're gonna go in and be the heroes. Let's just set everything up until that point.
So what do you have? What's your percentage of time travel?
Time travel in itself, it's like a 10% for me that it's real, but if the government does have any source similar to time travel, I'm saying that I'm about a 60% on it.
Shit. Well, what's your percentage on it?
100%.
Okay.
100%.
Hold up, I got another one for you guys. What are we thinking about HAARP and weather modifications?
What?
I think I think that's possible, man. I think by now we probably have the technology that we could, at least more on a local scale. I don't think you can flip a switch and like a whole country could go through some shit.
They said that the beginning of HAARP was Katrina. Katrina was HAARP when they tested it on New Orleans, and they were able to get the radar from both satellites strong enough to cause the tsunami.
Katrina, I feel like if that was man-made, I don't feel like it could have been made like that from like radar shit. Because I think the military probably does a lot of testing in the middle of the ocean where there's no land. You know what I mean? Look at that. There's still the Earth is 70-something% water, and there's parts of water that are bigger than the whole country. So they're like, all right, if you want to test them, just shoot it right there. But then the explosion can cause that ripple effect. And maybe it was a stronger missile than they expected, or did it too close, or maybe they purposely wanted to see it. Can we make a fucking little tidal wave with this shit if we need to? Mm-hmm. How far off the coast do we need to hit to destroy a city? I don't know. I think we definitely have some type of technology that could change, because the weather just goes off like humidity and shit like that. So I think if you have something that does manipulate dry air, cold air, water, precipitation, like humidity and shit, that you can create clouds and create, dust storms, shit like that. Yeah, I just don't see what the why is out there. What's the MO?
Weapon,
just testing it. But why would we test it on ourselves? Why would we test on some broke ass countries?
We've been tested. We've been test subjects to the government since day one.
Yeah, because if you think about it, the thing with the weaponizing the weather, if you have a country that never experienced rain for like more than 2 days.
So why would you do that? If you had the power, why would you give it to them?
No. Why not give it to them? Why not use it against them? If you're going to war with the people who never experienced water, why not just, all right, we're just going to flood you out. We're just gonna make it rain for 10 weeks at your fucking place. Now you don't got no tanks, no airplanes, no nothing.
My
all your
question
shit's
is, though,
fucking watered out.
Having the technology, why do we automatically assume that the only use of it would be for evil?
Because it's the
that's
government.
the only thing that has been proven that it's for.
It's only been
but
for.
Like what? Like okay, hold on. What good have you ever heard from weather modifications?
I'm saying the good. I haven't heard any as far as the conspiracies. It's all for evil. But what I'm saying is, okay, the government itself, the USA.
Let's not even say the government. Let's say the people who have the power.
Well, okay, whatever, whoever that is. The people that have the power have the money. People that have the money, they have their hand in everything, right? All this shit. Mm-hmm. So we're in California. There's been times our crops are hurting. So if we had the technology to make rain, we're losing money by allowing that to happen. So even if it's not for a good hard reason, like let me help you out, but it's for our own pockets, like, yo, we can't lose these crops. So
but that's the thing.
Why wouldn't we create rain for ourselves?
But that's the thing, though, like
depopulation.
Exactly.
They don't want that.
Exactly. Yeah. They want the economy to collapse. What do you think is going on right now?
Like I said, whoever's in power have an agenda and they want to fulfill that agenda.
You think? I mean, I could definitely see some countries that definitely want to depopulate. I just don't see that we're one of them because if anything, we need more people to stand up in times of war. If everything was evilly thought out, we're going to go to war with someone, so we need more soldiers. So why would we kill our own?
Probably some of the best technology.
I know.
You don't need people anymore. You got robots. People, you got robots, and you got all these
created
things.
The technology.
Exactly, but the people. I'm not saying you don't need the people. The people are behind the scenes controlling everything that's in front of them. Like the people don't need to sacrifice themselves anymore. And people don't need to die anymore because there's a bunch of all these robots in the
push comes to shove. We don't ever have to leave our couches, drop a couple nukes on people.
That's what I'm saying. You put hey, bro, I'm gonna need you to put in this code real quick. Hit that little switch. Vamonos.
But I just feel like if we had the power to manipulate weather, then we'd use it for evil and weaponize it. But I feel like it would have to also use it for some type of good. Like even if it's only for the good of those powerful people, it would be used in some type of way. Like. Say in a case of say cities that end up being on fire or some shit, like, or countries that they get bombed on, they're on fire, like the Amazon, right? If there was money in that, Australia, if there's money in that, why not flip your old weather switch and just we're gonna make it rain enough? We don't know how it happened and put out the fire. Cool.
I'll try to look for it. They have a website that gives you the best wedding day, promises you the best wedding day, rain free. Weather modification.
I think weather patterns have part. I think that's an art that's kind of lost. Weather because people back in the day were detecting weather patterns with no radar, sonar. They knew when to travel. They knew to travel in ships. They knew when it was clear to do that before having TV and technology and radar and satellites. Yeah. They just look at the stars and the tides coming. They calculate all that shit. That was a human. But I'm just I don't know. And if it did start, it must be super, super recent. Baby stages.
I can't remember I think they're called supercells. I've seen videos of a rain cloud, and you've seen like rain coming down in a distance. It just looks like a cloud kind of falling. Yeah. Well, picture that like a bucket just being dumped.
Yeah.
Like 1,000 gallons of water coming down at the same time. So there are reports of this happening in dense, condensed areas, enough to bring buildings down, enough water to just crush buildings and things like that.
Yeah.
So, and another thing on that is, why wouldn't the government let you collect any rainwater if it
you don't want that shit, bro. You don't want that shit. Good luck. You can have it. I'll give you all mine. I'll collect some buckets for you. See how it goes.
Nah, but I'm just saying, like in the time of like if there's no water. You know what I mean? Like
that's
you're
gonna drink though.
You're gonna drink shit water on the ground.
No, you'd have to.
Like if you have one of those life straws, you can still purify.
The shit water on the ground is
what I mean?
Up in the clouds.
Like if you got a bug out bag with life straws and that purifies all that shit.
See, that's why I've been wondering why they haven't done that on a larger scale. So we know the technology exists in those little live straws that you're talking about. You can drink puddle water, salt water, and you get a couple X amount of clean water before the filter gives out. Why can't we do that on a larger scale and have a whole plant constantly bringing in?
Because the people that did that live straw...
Because that doesn't generate money.
Depopulation.
You know, like that doesn't generate money. Like once we
that hella generates money.
It doesn't.
If you put that somewhere, if you could take over a whole country, like I guarantee, I give the technology to get clean water for all your people, and then the generators that generate the water would also be generating electricity. It's 2 for 1.
No, but you're giving them everything, and then it's just like a mechanic. It's like a mechanic in a car.
What do you think we do already to other countries? I'll help you out, bro. Now you fucking owe me. Now we own your country damn near. Like,
well, the military already on their ships, the Navy ships, they have the technology to turn the ocean water into drinking water.
Drinking water. Yeah, they have water fountains and shit on there.
And if they can do that, literally,
and we can do it on a bigger scale.
Yeah, because that's salt water, right?
Yeah, salt water into drinking water.
It just brings it in and it filters it and it shoots all the shit back out to the ocean. Just keeps water.
And so if we can do that...
But then we hear places like Flint not having shit. You're like, well, we have the technology. Why can't we make it?
Exactly.
Or we just hear about, in California, there's a drought. Bro, we're on the fucking coast. We can have one of those plants in every major city along the coast and just be churning out clean water for all of our crops and everything. But they, like I said, maybe there's no money in it, or maybe they ain't got it on that scale yet to guarantee like this is safe.
But it's on a boat that's moving constantly. How is it not like
there's
at that level?
There's a couple thousand people on there too on that boat, but
especially on multiple boats.
Oh yeah, aircraft carriers all day. Like like I said, my dad was in the military. I've been on the Tiger cruise. I've been on those aircraft carriers. They have like water fountains, like in a hallway, little water fountain. Ooh. And they have sinks, all that shit, like regular shit. You take a shower, all this shit with good clean water. That's where it comes from. They obviously don't have no landline. They're in the middle of the ocean. So that technology's been existing. I think when I went on the Tiger cruise, it was already it was late 90s, like maybe like 99, 98.
Probably 70s, 60s.
Yeah.
But like I'm saying, the people in power have one agenda to fill. Why would they give the people that they're testing shit on that ability to have what they have?
Exactly.
That already works.
If you did, it would create more of that fake trust, like the scorpion and the frog scenario or whatever. It's like, hey, let me give you a little something. See, I'm not a bad guy.
Yeah,
come a little closer.
But the people in power want blind
trust me a little more.
They want blind trust. They don't want. They don't want to give us
now. 2020, no one trusts the government.
Yeah, that's why
shit. They did a horrible job having us trust them. A lot of things came out. A lot of conspiracy theories became true. To kind of, how we feel about the weather shit off top.
Well, I believe it. I believe it
100%. Yeah.
I'm about like 65, 70. I'm about 70.
All right.
I think it's definitely a possibility. I just don't know if it's...
You got Kodak Black rapping about it, man.
man.
Free him, man. Free the homie.
Yeah.
Chemtrails.
Wait, chemtrails. Yes. Yeah,
part of it.
I just don't know another reason for that, though.
What do you mean?
I just don't see the MO.
Chemtrails are made to weaken your immune system.
Why don't you just kill us off? Why weaken
Depopulation.
Because they can't just kill you off like that because it's against the Constitution.
And they don't want to draw any eyes. If you think, there's mass murder, who's the one people that have access to all the people that have control of what all the people are doing?
Bro, we already have poison in our food.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's why they're doing it.
But it's a slow poison that kills you like in a couple of years. Mm-hmm. They don't want it to be like,
kills
all right, now you're
diabetes. It kills you with all this shit so you can keep buying while you're dying.
They're still building their empire by using us, but also killing us.
We're hosts, is what we are.
Yep.
We're hosts to them, and then they're just waiting, feeding us all this bullshit, and we die. We die, and that's it. And then it's a continuation.
I guess one of my quote unquote common sense points that comes to me would be, this is us in America we're talking about, and us is us people. Now there's countries, China, Russia, that treat their fucking people like shit. But we don't hear of these things happening over there, where it would make more sense for them to already be doing this shit. They should be chemtrailing the fuck out of people. They should be fucking weather changing the fuck out of their people because they don't give a fuck about their people.
But the people believe them.
How are we the biggest victims of these things? But the countries that crazier shit's happening are not even touching these waters.
Because we came to a point already where we don't believe our government because they fed us so much BS that we want to know the truth. And whatever they tell us, we're like, nope, it's not. We believe the opposite. When out there in the other countries, they've believed their country so much that regardless of what they say, they're going to believe. If they believe the chemtrails is for you to be beneficial, for you to live longer, they're going to be outside sniffing those chemtrails, not knowing it's going to kill them.
Yeah. There hasn't been any explanations for these, has there?
For chemtrails?
Chemtrails. Like, for people saying there is, was there ever a statement made by...
Well, the government actually finally came out and said that they're spraying.
spraying shit.
They are spraying aluminum and other metals in the air. The explanation why, I don't think have heard of one. I've got my theories. A lot of people of us.
Depopulation.
Depopulation. 5G has a lot to do with 5G because of the metals.
Slide right into 5G. What do you think about 5G?
I think it's a microwave weapon. Straight up, it is disguised to give us faster internet. 4G is good enough. I haven't had no problem with 4G.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I've never had.
I just hate the service of people because when I'm at work, I have full bars, full 4G, and I could have it at one location of my work, and when I go to the other spot of my work, same thing. I can't load shit, even though it says 4G full bars. I'm like, I just moved maybe 20 feet.
Yep.
Yeah.
How the fuck is this not doing it?
Yeah.
So
I remember AOL dial-up was working just fine.
Yeah.
after 10 minutes, I see everything I wanted to see.
But if the people that were rolling this out actually did human trial testing, because I have a video up on one of my Facebook pages that I want to say a senator was asking these guys, is there any human trials of any safeties to this new technology? And he says no. They're supposed to have some, and they never came up with some. They never did any. And to me, that's a red
China
flag.
has a lot of information right now because they've been 5G'd out for a couple of years already. They got it everywhere.
Why?
Everywhere in China.
Have you heard of their social credit system?
No.
Social credit system is they are all based on a credit, kind of like our credit score with credit card, but they're
how good of a person
how good of a person you are, and they have an AI system that watches their every move from when they leave the house to wherever they go
they have
and come back.
one camera for every 2 people that live in China, and there's over 1 billion people in China.
So this is the whole reason of the 5G, because it helps the cameras communicate faster.
Yeah.
So that's why they need to roll out the 5G. So for this social credit system, so. Like us talking about conspiracies, if we were in China just talking about this, our credit system would have went way down to a point that we wouldn't be able to buy a bus ticket to go somewhere.
Speaking of that, there's an MMA fighter in China who's actually experienced that because he was going around beating all the kung fu artists, and China got mad at him that they dropped his social credit score, so that if he ever wants to go somewhere, he has to legit either have his own vehicle and go there and hope that he doesn't get pulled over and sent back by the police because
track for sure.
Yeah, because he has the lowest score that it's even hard for him to get a bus ticket or a train ticket.
That's crazy
to travel.
And I believe that's rolling out here with all the 5G.
I mean, I think our thought that we already know is like to keep your phone, not be on your phone so much. That's why we created wireless shit. Not have it by your dick. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that because of the radiation. That's already kind of been a proven thing, like more of a long term thing. But I feel like if you increase that strength, you can increase that chance of cancer and shit happening to you from your phone or your tablet or your computer or all the shit you have. Damn near your whole house now that's set up on wireless connectivity and shit. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, that's kind of scary because kind of seeing China kind of already got the head start on it. And seeing how they kind of keep track of their people, it's kind of like, that shit coming here. I mean, 5G as I don't know, because the thing is, nobody felt this way about when we went from 2 to 3 and 3 to 4. And now that 5's here, and everyone's just,
but see, at the same time, everybody was just happy for faster internet. And now that internet's fucking a few gigs of speed, like, everybody's like, wait, why do we keep needing faster internet? Like, we're good. See, I am a believer of the 5G to a point. Like, I don't believe that it's like a crazy weapon, but I do believe that it is it's a mechanism to just make you stupid because they're putting it in schools, right? They're putting it in elementary schools. They're putting it in all these places where kids are, and 5G it emits a lot of radiation. So therefore, all those kids who are there learning are emitting all that radiation. So it's just making them.
I mean, when they're at home, it's already going down. Them kids stay on them tablets and on on everything anyway. Their phone.
Yeah, no,
So
but I'm pretty sure that's a different type of radiation. You know.
I mean, well, the 5G is going to be used for wireless, just electronic equipment. It's not like just pulsating radiation around.
But you're forgetting the stuff we've been breathing in, the soft metals, the stuff they've been spraying, the chemtrails.
Oh, it radiates that.
Well, I think that's what a lot of it connects. That's how they could possibly track us, without cameras, just radar, because we're so full of metals. That's kind of crazy
how it does. Now that you do see that connection, it's like, okay, if we are getting 5G and we're able to just kind of spray light-ass glitter that just floats around with the wind, and then metal transmits electricity and sonic waves and all that shit easier.
We would connect to a 5G tower and not even know it.
Yeah. I don't.
We could be walking.
I mean, at the end of the day, there's really nothing we can do about that one.
Yeah.
Metal detox.
Wear a metal hat. Huh?
You can do metal detox. There's some stuff out there that detoxes the metal out of the body.
I was talking about the 5G coming.
Oh yeah.
The 5G.
No, there's just coming whether you like it or not.
No. Oh yeah. Just like everything else.
Like a Kevlar hat and shit now. You know what I'm saying? Like
move out.
Move out radiation suits. Move to a third world country where you know they ain't got shit.
Yeah. King Jamu, we're moving in, baby.
Oh shit! So 5G being harmful. How are we feeling about that?
I would give it a good 75-80%.
I'm right there with you.
I'm not saying in itself that it's harmful. I'm saying that what they're trying to use it for is harmful. So, but in itself, I'm saying 30% 5G is harmful, but in terms of it being weaponized, that's like an 80% right there.
Damn, how are you feeling?
Until they can prove to me it's safe, it's 100%.
For sure. What else we got on the card, man?
New World Order.
New World Order. Is that like New California?
Damn. Fuck, New World Order. Oof. So, I guess for me to kick it off, I'm going to say this. That I don't believe in New World Order in the sense that the information's been given to me. Like, those exact, like, it's these people, this and that. But I do believe that we are... Because you hear about the one world government, right? I don't think that's ever going to happen because too many countries don't fuck with us. But I will say, like, we already have the UN. We already have our allies. My thing is, we're powerful enough in ourselves that if just the UN decided to have one currency, one government, one set of rules, regardless if you're in England, you're in America, you're wherever the fuck, that the only choice of other countries, they have to fuck with us if they want to be down. You know, it's like, hey, you want to fuck with our little clique? Like, you're a third world country and you need our help, then you're going to become part of our one world government. And now you have to follow by our rules, use our currency, we'll help your economy turn up, but now we own you. Mm-hmm. Where, like, China, Russia will never join us in anything. So it can't be the whole world is what I'm saying. It's not the whole entire world under one thing. But I think it'll be enough superpowers to lead their way to say, hey, this is what we're doing. Like, motherfuckers are going to Miami Heat Warriors that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're just going to dominate for a while. And, like, you could be one of the other teams trying to struggle, or you can fuck with us. Like, we're going to win.
Well, that sounds like something similar to the American Revolution. It's like, we got the North and the South. It's like North Korea, Russia, and China are the South, and everybody else is the North.
Yeah. There's going to be countries that fuck with us. There's going to be countries that are too prideful and say, nah, I can flip my country around on its own. But because really, I mean, power in numbers. We've all known that for years. It's always been proven, power in numbers. So if we're able to get the biggest superpowers in the world on one page, minus China and Russia, because anything else is almost second tier country. Fuck it.
Well, them two in themselves, they basically even everybody else out.
I don't know, because we're right. We're the biggest dog on the block. Let's put it out there.
I don't say that because they have a trench coat on. What are they hiding underneath?
You fucking bot, dog?
They have a trench coat. I don't know what they got underneath that trench coat.
I believe that we're tied with the Soviets.
Yeah,
as the number one.
Yeah, I believe that.
I don't think.
I feel like if it was that serious, they would have jumped right now.
No, I don't believe that the United States is superior because they would have just moved on Russia, and they're scared of Russia because they don't know what Russia has.
And not only that, Russia keeps infiltrating our shit.
Yeah,
because they want to be like us, dog.
Or they want to know what we got to better it.
You know why? Because we already showed motherfuckers.
It's not that they want to be like us; it's they want us to be like them.
Nah, bro.
Yes.
It's like this. We already showed the world what we about. We're the only country to ever drop a fucking nuke on motherfuckers and let them know we ain't playing. Don't push my hand out. drop nukes on you. And the thing is, if we ever go get into a Russia, it ain't gonna be no, hey, let's have a war for a little while. We're coming out with the nukes. You know what I'm saying? That's the first thing. Bomb all your major cities. Now you still want to fuck around or not?
But how do we know Russia doesn't got that same capability?
They have
They
that.
might.
They have that.
But I think we have a better defense system than they do.
What?
I think they have better soldiers, probably better military as far as like more discipline.
How do you have a
more
defense
people.
for what you never faced?
We got the best of the best.
We got the
They're
best
stealing our
offense.
technology. We're not stealing their technology. They're stealing ours. Them and China are stealing our shit.
But what new
I don't think
defensive technology or defensive maneuvers has the American, the U.S. got? Do we have like a big bubble shield?
We don't know.
No.
We don't know. We don't know.
Nope, just like
Well,
how
I mean, supposedly we can change the fucking weather, so...
Nah.
Shit, the only thing.
just like how I think that the Russians got to the moon before the United States did.
Damn.
That's probably gonna be our next topic. But so New World Order. I mean,
Yeah,
what
I
do you
mean,
think?
we're
Kyle? You
living
haven't
in
said
it,
much over
baby.
here, bro. You haven't said much about the New World Order. What do you think?
I honestly believe because everyone's an illusion. Just as you guys are talking, basically, who's got the bigger guns over here?
Yeah.
They got us fighting each other, and that's part of the New World Order. So it's part of their plan. It's part of their
Depopulation.
exactly depopulation. Their control. It's a way of controlling us. If we're all at peace, they can't control us. If we're all in chaos and at war with each other, it's either easier to control everybody.
You don't think war is more divisive?
Oh yeah, definitely. But if we come together, they have no chance. That's why
That's
they need
people,
to keep
yeah,
us at
people.
war.
Yeah.
So they're keeping us at war while they're doing their little plans and their little events to form us into the direction they want us in. I mean,
the cashless shit's already happening right
the
now.
cashless stuff. Look,
All
yeah,
the Walmarts
exactly.
I've been to, they're not taking cash unless it's in the self checkout.
Not only that, but we're normalizing everything now. Like everything with
Exactly.
pedophilia is trying to be normalized. All these crazy things
just
are
been a
trying to
thing
be
already,
normalized. Like it's insane. Like the gay movement was forced on us. Like in the 90s, if you were gay, man, you were frowned upon.
Yeah.
Like, you were the worst thing that could ever happen to America.
Well, I mean,
and
top five.
you know, and now it's like they're everywhere. I don't got
All the
nothing against the
shows,
gays or
all the
nothing, you know, but it's just like,
Don't shove them out of my throat. No pun intended.
Yeah.
you know, it's just you stick to you do you, and I do me, and that's it. You know what I mean? Hello, goodbye, and that's it. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, like you see something like, okay, things that have been proven that help conspiracies. For a fact, there's been Russian bots on social media.
Oh.
Factual. Already been that and Chinese bots. So there's pages that already influence your everyday life of what you see, what you report, what you share, and they collect all your data. They know all
TikTok.
that shit. That's
Number one.
TikTok is owned by the Chinese government. It's owned. It's
TikTok.
property.
Yep.
Everything in China is Chinese property. That's the point. And they just took over Hong Kong, the last free city, pretty much. And it is what it is. We'll probably get for this fight now, but whatever, you know. But so those things help the idea of like, okay, we're being influenced for things that we don't even know. We're subconsciously just kind of following the lead. But the thing is, it's not just the enemy that has bots. The U.S. has to have bots of their own.
Oh, yeah.
Also
Bro,
influencing
yeah.
social media.
We're the biggest
Also-
terrorists.
Yeah, to ourselves. So the one world order, I see it. Like I already see the currency thing happening. I think the whole like cryptocurrency type thing. They're talking about putting chips in that pretty much have your bank account on it, so you can just
Your whole
scan
life.
things and everything.
I mean, we talked about the what's that one Chinese app?
What's that? No, not what's that.
Me Too or what was it? I mean, we that fucking
The one with the with the checking
nah.
out. Yeah.
you said you went to that convention, man,
With the-
in Pebble Beach.
oh, WeChat.
The WeChat.
Yeah, that shit was yeah. When they showed that shit, I had worked at Pebble Beach out here in California. A bunch of rich ass people everywhere. I was bartending. They had a WeChat. The place I was in was sponsored by WeChat. They rented out the suite I was in. So I overheard a lot of crazy conversations. I stood there behind my bar while they had presentations and all this shit. And I'm talking schmoozing with the bigs of the bigs, the people that own like Chevy and own like fucking technology companies and shit. They're trying to see what's up with this WeChat, because WeChat was already successful in China, and WeChat was their everything. Instead of them having Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, Apple Pay, it was all in one app. Your whole life is in this one app. So, and they were even talking about now that I remember, they were even talking about how the future communication was going to be emojis and GIFs. Because so people don't have to type, and it relays an emotion to someone else, less kind of like misinterpreting words and shit, and it's quicker. And now look, emojis, GIFs. They also had the shit where they have stores out there in China where you can just walk out with all your shit, and it just tallies it up and takes it off your fucking account. And there's like nobody in there. There's no cashiers. There's no like. So even if you want to steal something, it'll go off if you don't have no money. But even if you, because nowadays, in America, people steal when they still have money. People have like $400 in their pocket and still steal shit. Yeah. But guess what? That's just gonna be taken out. You're gonna have $390 in your pocket now. Yeah. So like, it kind of eliminates that. But it was a fully connected thing. And now you see, the U.S. is kind of we're like China. I think is kind of shown the way as far as like the technology, digital. And
they test like out technology over there first.
I mean, we already know that. All the best shit comes to China and Japan.
They test it on their own people.
Yeah, for sure.
They test it on their
because
own
their people can't say no.
Communists.
Their people believe them.
Yeah, I mean,
whatever they say, they believe.
They have to, or at least say they do.
It's a communist state.
So as far as the one world order, I can see at least superpowers get together. I don't know, not the whole world.
I mean, what do you think that world organization is?
Or the
woke? Or who?
That's the World Health Organization. The UN.
Yeah, that UN is pretty much our Justice League. If to put it bluntly, it's like we have our top homies. We're in a group. That's the UN. It's like you got your house, I got my house and shit, but we're all homies. And like, you need something, I got you. You need something, I got you. Like, this motherfucker fucking with you, dog, I'll come punch him for you. You know what I mean? Like, that's what we're here for.
We jumping them or what?
Yeah, and then there's allies of just the UN. They're not part of the UN, but they fuck with us and we fuck with them. But I don't know, man. I think the New World Order thing, I would say we're pretty far from it, but I do believe there is some type of agenda. At least there's someone out there that wants it. Yeah. I don't know if it'll happen.
We're living in it, man.
I hope that we as people can realize it, even if it's too late, but realize it enough to fight back.
Well, that's the thing. It's too late.
It's happening right now.
They can't kill us all, though.
It's happening right now.
It's not that they're going to kill us all. They don't want to kill us all. They want to kill a certain percentage.
Yeah.
Well, like
they have it written in stone.
They do.
Hopefully, we're the ones living.
Georgia Guidestones.
Huh?
Georgia Guidestones. They have it written in stone. They want to keep the population at 500 million throughout the world.
What's the world? What the fuck is the world population now?
Oh, like 8
billions.
Yeah,
I think it's like 8 by now.
7 billion. 7 something billion.
Oh wow, that's more than what they wanted.
So they want to eliminate 90% of the population on this world, and they have it written in stone in like 9 different languages.
All those, I'm not going down without a fight.
That's hands down.
I mean, even if it is just like stop, no, okay, I tried.
So what are we feeling?
I'll give that shit. The idea of it, I think, is 100%. The probability of it happening, at least in the way we think, I think is probably like 40.
Well, in the
future though, not near anytime soon.
I believe they want it to happen. As in, if it actually comes about, I don't think it will. I think there's about maybe a 25% chance it actually happens. And if that, like they said, like Spirit said, it's turning us against each other just to kill ourselves. And that's probably how they would do it.
We living in it, baby. I believe 100%. It's bigger than black and white.
Damn. What about you?
100% when, yeah, exactly. We're living in it right now. They're dividing us. We got it written in stone. Shit, there's something I was going to say.
Wakanda forever.
Promised land, baby. We got to fight back, man.
Yeah, I think they're doing it 100%. They, if you want reference to it, look up Agenda 2021 and Agenda 2030. Those two have there's good documentaries out on
Agenda 2021 and Agenda 2030. Check that out. Check that out.
And talks about basically New World Order and how they're bringing it in.
I think I still believe in humanity, man. I mean,
I don't
like people, love them, but I think the average person wants to do good.
I believe
I don't.
Greed gets in the way.
I don't think they're smart enough sometimes, or they get in their own way. But I think in their heart, like they don't. I don't think the average person really wants to kill people.
No,
it's not that they don't want to kill people. It's just people just want to live too comfortably where they don't have to do anything.
Yeah,
and that is wrong because if you see somebody down the street get fucked up and get robbed, people are looking the other way instead of trying to help.
Exactly.
You don't want to get fucked up and get robbed.
But those are the human morals, man. As a human, you do right to another human to protect it, because regardless, they're like your family, even though you don't know them. As a race standpoint,
Yeah.
I don't believe in human. I the way I see the world right now, bro, I can't.
So I think a lot of that
man.
has to do with media, which I guess would kind of be another conspiracy theory, but it's not really because it's proven. But media, especially social media, controls everything right now.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. So I think that we're led to believe that a lot of things happen more often than they actually do, and led to believe that some things that happen every day don't happen that often. And I think like in those extreme cases, it's like if I see someone get robbed in front of me, for one, it's just too many factors I got to deal with to think about it.
Yeah.
Like for one, if I'm with my kid, I'm not jumping in shit off top. That's not happening. So if I'm not, and if it's like a elderly citizen, I'll probably try my hand at it. If it seems like two hood niggas got in a hood dispute, I'm not in it. Like I don't have nothing to do with that shit. It's probably all in the game for you. So, but I think like the average person would not be down to kill knowingly. I think that we are, like you said, killing ourselves kind of subliminally by what we follow and how we eat and all these crazy things.
Yeah.
But I think the average person would not, is like, even if you look at military, like I feel like people aren't even jumping to be in the military no more like they used to be. Like it used to be kind of a rite of passage as a man.
Look at what's going on. The military, they're killing themselves. What happened to that one Vanessa chick?
Yeah,
what happened
to
all these?
Not in the military. That happens every day.
Yeah, but we're speaking about the military. These are people in the military who got killed by their own people.
Yeah,
and like that shit happens quite frequently.
Everyone
that
gets
it
killed by their
doesn't,
own people.
it happens quite frequently. That now it's.
I don't think it happens that frequently. I don't think there's one a day.
I'm
It's
not
never
saying
reported.
maybe one a day, but I'm saying maybe like once a month.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, and that already is enough.
Yes, that's
That's already crazy, because if you think about it, that's 12 a year.
But still, like
you know
what
what I mean?
Shit,
Like,
though, which leads to the other subject. I guess we'll kind of touch on, quote unquote, Pizzagate. But when it comes to children, like I'm more interested in saving children. I think that children are being abused every day. Something happens to a child every day. Then we should be focused on like those things are tragedies. Regardless, I'm not trying to take focus away from someone that deserves like their story to be told, but I just don't think that shit happens all the time. The same way they want you to believe like cops kill people every fucking day. Like
I do.
I mean, yeah, there is someone getting killed every day, but not enough to live in fear. Like watch your back. Like I'm more concerned with like there's kids getting kidnapped every day. There's kids getting fucked and molested, and I don't know if I believe in Pizzagate as it's told. Like those people, that location, that code, that shit. No, but fact of the matter is, there's a lot of kids being abused every day.
But is it reported
It's
all
not.
the time?
I
Same
don't
thing with
think
the
it
military. It's not always reported.
and it's not going to go
Yeah,
reported
because the
because
military is one of those things too, where it's kind of like that pride of like, hey, you know,
the number one organization that smuggles kids is CPS.
Yeah.
CPS is the number one trafficker of kids. They move kids out of families and place them in other families, and then they don't know what happened to them. It's just like, it's crazy, man, because those are the people who are in our society, who we share meals with, you know what I mean? Who like, you know what I mean? Just when we're out at the mall or whatever, we interact with these people.
You never know who
you know what I mean? And it's just like, it's crazy, bro. That's
like
sickening.
a sexual
to me.
predator doesn't have a look. Everybody thinks like, oh yeah, he looks like a chomo. He looks like a rapist. It's like they don't have a look.
No.
Because the majority of the time it's someone you know. There's a high. I think it's like 80-90% of the time sexual abuse happens is from someone that person knew. Well, whether it's a family member or a teacher or a coach or someone they just met in the neighborhood. Like, I think the whole like of it randomly like car pulling up, door sliding open, kid having kid like that. Probably it still happens. It happens in large numbers, but I don't think it happens as often as like an uncle or a brother or a cousin or a teacher or a coach that says, hey, don't say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of the time
kids don't have a voice.
I would say about like 60-70% of the time it's always family. You
a
know?
lot of times.
It's always some dirty ass family member who
man.
wants to do some fucking grimy ass shit.
And the internet just exposed that even more because there's so much more access now to other people.
Yeah.
Whereas like you could just milk them in from the internet.
Not only
like,
that,
hey,
but like,
we need a room. Like,
not only that, but like people who are being abused are opening up more now because now they're planting secret cameras. Now they're
but that's like older people. It's
know?
like my thing is like these kids. A lot of kids don't have a voice. They don't have an organization. They don't get to go out here and march in these streets and protest. They don't get to go talk to the White House. They're fucking 6. They're 5. They're 4. The fuck are they? You know what I mean? Like they don't have anything protecting them. And it goes on for years until they finally get old enough to realize, like, yo, this shit's not right.
Yeah.
And by then it's too late. Like, they already have the fucking PTSD from that shit. And they're fucked. But I think, like we said about the media controlling shit, you know, there's always been this conspiracy theories around for a while about Pizzagate. You know, the elites drinking children's blood and
Disney
being a part of that, and just all these crazy shits. And people are kind of like, yeah. But now, in 2020, and we are in July, majority of my feed on social media is pedophile shit right now. Black Lives Matter kind of took a little step down. Pedophilia is a new thing that's coming in my feed all day. So now I'm like, how long is the media going to take now to run with this? Because so far, I've been seeing the correlation between social media and media. Social media starts a movement, makes things go viral on the internet, it gets in the mainstream.
Yeah.
Like, that's how it goes. And then they try to kick you back a couple extra things about, you know, this person, that person, so you can share it on social media. But for the most part, social media controls media.
Yeah.
So now that social media is on fire with pedophilia, how long is it going to take for NBC, CNN, Don Lemon, Bill Maher, like Tucker Carlson, all these people to start doing stories on it and covering it and digging in deep and doing investigations? Or will it never happen?
I don't think they will.
I think they will, but like maybe
It's not gonna go nowhere.
just a 0.01% of it, just to be like, hey guys, we care about it too.
Yeah.
But they don't want to expose their own people.
There
Is
you
what
go.
it is.
Like, you're
I can
telling
see
me
that.
about the Trump, but you're telling me about Trump playing golf. You're telling me about the president took a picture with some beans. Like, nigga, tell me about the kid that ended up missing today. Tell me about the case where the dude got found guilty or innocent of doing all this crazy shit. Like, and I mean, I've seen a lot of shit. You know, being that social media shared a lot of shit, I always try to read the things to make sure it's real, first of all. But you see, like, these stories of, like, the CEO that had 13,000 files of child porn with bestiality, with child torture and rape on him.
Not only that,
And
man,
he got
but
he got 210 days in jail with like 160 times served. So he did like 2 months after he
And
got found guilty.
what's crazy is,
Like, what?
you know, I've been on the dark web and, you know, we've searched through it and stuff, and we found a lot of forums of communities of every city that has pedophile communities.
Yeah.
And these people use secret codes, and these are business people that, like I tell you, like, we interact with these people on a daily basis.
Yeah.
You know, and it's sick, bro. Like, this shit's hella sick.
That goes to a point that you're making. Like, when you see like the stories pop up of like locally, it's like a school teacher or somebody that works at the store.
What about just the other day that happened where that probation officer?
Oh yeah,
she was fucking you know, the underage kid,
and all the way until he was past 18, still fucking.
Yep, she was visiting him in jail in the juvenile hall, sucking him up, doing all this shit, and then the kid turned 18, still fucked him,
But
do all this
peep
shit.
this little tidbit. We hear those stories of everyday people. Somehow in the history of entertainment and politics and presidents and senators, there's no major pedophilia cases.
Yeah.
There's rumors on people. I mean, obviously you got like Woody Allen is a sick fuck that adopted his daughter and fucking married her and shit, right? And no one pushed back on him. They're still like, oh, new Woody Allen movie. He's such a great director. Who gives a fuck? Like, you heard about the Kevin Spacey kind of shit a little bit, which kind of more on some homosexuality shit, but you never hear like, we've had we're on 40 something presidents now, 49, 47, like whatever. We started in America with 1700 something. You never heard one crazy case of a superstar, a super rich person being involved in pedophilia that has been concrete evidence, they've been tried in court and they got found guilty. You don't hear about none of it. It's always like, oh, this teacher at this school, this guy at Walmart, this, you know,
or
this
Kelly.
family over here, this mom's boyfriend. Like, it's never a super famous person. It's never a president, a politician, a senator, a movie star.
R. Kelly.
None of that shit. I mean,
Cover up. It's all cover
Yeah,
up.
it's just they just want us to be like they care about it too. That's why they throw the little things at us.
That's why
Not the big ones, just the little ones. They don't want us to know about any of that.
Like, I don't know, like the Epstein shit. We all know Epstein did not kill himself. Nope,
Yep.
did not. No conspiracy there. But like that shit, I don't know if it is specifically these people. Like, I can't say for sure it's Ellen DeGeneres and Tom Hanks and Oprah and Bill Clinton. I don't know that, but
Well,
it's someone.
Well,
It's
I can't remember what country, but the country has a warrant arrest out for the Queen of England.
Wales.
Yeah.
I think it's Wales. I've read about that.
Because back in the 60s or 70s, I want to say, they took a group of kids, I think 12 of them, on a picnic trip. And this group of kids disappeared.
Yep.
All 12 of them?
All 12 of them.
Fuck.
And the Queen has no recollection of what happened, I guess, or what happened to these children.
There's that theory that Princess Diana was about to blow the whistle and everything. That's why they killed her.
There you go.
There's that conspiracy that kind of ties into the pedophilia.
Not really conspiracy, but probably pretty.
So
fast.
the way we're feeling about Pizzagate is 100% real, but not specifically
what they said.
The New York Pizzagate.
Yeah, that particular pizza. Yeah. The details,
the New York
I don't know.
Pizzagate down Manhattan Street.
The details, I don't know, but I think there is I think there's definitely
Hollywood pedal ring.
Oh,
for
sure.
Yes. There we go.
The elites, the Hollywood shit, for sure.
I was looking at this post you shared the other day about how, like, all the Disney movies, if you look at Pinocchio, right? Pinocchio is the #1 movie that shows you pedophilia. And the fact is that Pinocchio, being a boy, gets kidnapped by, like, 3 different dudes who try to make him do, different things.
Yeah.
Like, one dude makes him dance and he's in a cage and wants him to make money. And the other dude is the wolf, and the other fucking dude who are just after Pinocchio to try to kidnap him to get him to smoke all those drugs and drink, and like that is like that
came
to
out
me,
the 20s, the 30s. Pinocchio, the original Disney. I mean, because the story of that
was the 40s.
The original story of Pinocchio wasn't even all that's in the movie. The original story of Pinocchio was like I think a daily or a weekly comic of a reoccurring character where he just always like had a bad day. That was like the original Pinocchio that was written in a comic. Was like just this little wooden boy that always has a bad day, but he can't die because he's wooden. So he's kind of like a Kenny. Like he dies in all the episodes, but he comes back.
It came out in 1940.
The Disney one?
Yes.
But then the Disney one put their own Disney twist on that shit. And then the same thing with Disney. All these motherfuckers got no parents.
Yep.
All of them were teenage girls.
Well, Geppetto was his dad, but he had no mom.
Yeah, I mean, Geppetto was his dad. He was a pimp.
He made him.
He created him. But yeah, I mean,
but Geppetto never, like, in the movie,
shit.
And he always loved and tried to get him back.
Yeah. But I mean, you look at the deeper meaning. A lot of this shit. I mean, we already know about the Lion King and the sex in the air and the dick on the Little Mermaid cover and the take off your clothes for Aladdin. And
the boner on the Little Mermaid.
Little Mermaid when the prince gets married. The little boner.
Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse's arm with the dick. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Minnie shit.
Yeah. Minnie Mouse.
And then like. They're also a very anti-Semitic company. There's old Mickey Mouse shit with swastikas and shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same thing
all
with
the
Donald
old
Duck.
school Donald Duck and Mickey with the swastikas and everything.
Yeah. I think Pizzagate, as it's told to me, I can't believe the details to say those are facts. But for a fact, somebody somewhere is doing some weird shit, and we do need to get to the bottom of it.
Yep.
That's my thing. The government spends money on so much shit. Put together a really detailed operation to go after and uncover as much as you can and round up as much as you can.
Fuck Space Force. Let's get this pet force going.
Supposedly that was part of the shutdowns for that, but I've seen a little bit, but not like overall sweeping, like not all kinds.
No.
I want to see the big names. I want to see the big names. Who are the big, like, Harvey Weinstein, he went down for grown women. But every child star in Hollywood has spoken on pedophilia.
Yep.
From Elijah Wood to Macaulay Culkin to, just all these kids that came out of Nickelodeon and Disney and the young movie stars, they've all spoken like Hollywood is weird as fuck and they make you do weird shit or they want you to.
Well, on that Epstein thing, I think there was like 3 teens or and younger that were involved in that, but they didn't do anything sexual because like they all got out of it just in the nick of time.
Of course they did. That's the only thing about the story is like all these kids come out and like there's a whole bunch of weird shit, but I never did it.
There was 5 people on both sides.
There's 5 people on both sides. I guess to end it, to wrap it up.
How we feeling about the flat Earth?
The moon / flat Earth.
Well, I already told you, man. I believe that the Russians got to the moon before the U.S. did.
Well, I mean, they got shit on the moon before we did. From my records show that there was a race
there was
to
a
it.
robot. There was a robot that got there first,
over.
And then the United States got there, but Russia never announced it. Remember, they never announced it. They never celebrated. They never nothing. They just got to the moon.
We didn't announce shit either, though. Everybody waited to see that first step on the moon. That was the big announcement.
See, I think it was all about having the first life on the moon.
Yeah,
not just. Because once the U.S.
supposedly they shot a monkey up there. I don't know if that's true, but
it's you can't get any communication back from a monkey.
Yeah.
They want to be like, oh yeah, guys, we're up here. That's why when Russia sent out a thing, they're like, all right, it's possible. And then the U.S. seen that, oh, they already sent something out. All right, we got some people out just to one up them.
Yeah,
because when we send somebody else up, they can't one up us. What are they gonna do? Send 5 people? We already sent 3.
My thing is this: that happened in the late '60s. where there was no internet. There was
Actually,
no VCRs.
wait, when was World War II again?
Fuck, I don't fucking know off the top of my head.
Well, World War II is when the internet was already out.
But not for us.
Not well. I mean,
No one ever thought it'd be released to the people where we could record shit.
no, but
1939.
well, obviously, neither is fucking moon landing. Fucking rockets was never for us either. So obviously
what I'm
there was
saying is,
communication and internet.
everything on TV at that point in time, no one ever dreamed that we would be able to record it and watch it over and over for ourselves.
Oh, okay.
Without them showing it to us again on live television.
Okay, I got
or
you.
broadcast it later.
Yeah, because if
So
you
there
think
was
about
no
it,
VCRs. There was no nothing to record. Like everyone would just tune in on their TVs. Like, all right, what happened? We landed on the moon. Oh my god! And that's it.
Yeah.
Like no one ever thought we would have the power. Like look, and now look what happens when we do have it. We're flipping. We're putting pressure on media. We're making our own media. You know what I mean? Like we have all the power.
We're
now
asking
with the
questions.
internet. Yeah, we're asking questions. So my thing is, it's 2020, and nobody's ever done it again. Even countries that hate us, China, Russia, like, and then Russia wasn't competing with us, and they still don't have shit up
It's
there.
because we're trying to get to Mars now, man.
see, but that's the thing. That's the
But we never went to the moon. How
excuse.
can you believe it's tomorrow?
That's the excuse. Is like, oh, we're on to better and better, bigger and better things now. We're not worried about doing that
yeah.
again.
Fuck no. We
Okay.
would have had a space station up there running shit if we could really just do that like regular.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, moving on to this flat Earth, because obviously we're at 50-50 that this shit's
I'm like a fucking 80%, 90% that we didn't go to the moon.
Yeah, I'm pretty strong that we. I'm not strong that we. Let me see. I'm about 50-50.
That's what I'm
50-50?
saying. Yeah,
I'm
that's what I'm saying.
50-50?
I'm
Yeah.
50-50.
Oh yeah, Kyle.
From what
yeah.
I've relearned and from what I've seen, I'm 100% we've never been to the moon.
Thank you. I'm right there. I'm fucking 90% with you, dog. It just make like there's so many things that make no sense to me.
I've seen video of a star been videotaped. Basically, someone's videotaping the moon, and when you zoom into the moon, you know how you get a half crescent of the moon, and then you should whatever that whole moon is, they see a star right in the middle of the supposed where the middle of the moon should be, if it was a full moon, but it's a half crescent, so we're seeing the dark side of the moon, and then we're seeing that half crescent. Well, he's seeing a star right there, right in the middle. So it's transparent, I guess, when it's
Supposedly
dark.
they have mirrors up there you can bounce lasers off and all this other shit. I'm like, I just don't get it. And then when you see the speeches done by the astronauts, they seem like they kind of know they fuck people over. You uncover all the many layers of the truth. They shit like some
Well, what
weird
about
shit.
NASA claiming that the moon is all of a sudden within our atmosphere now?
No, fuck no. What?
So yeah, they if you look it up now, with all the times that we've been through the belt or whatever, through out of our atmosphere to the moon, into space, whatever, the recent years they actually claim that the moon, our atmosphere expands larger than they thought, is how they claim it, and our moon is still within our atmosphere.
Science is forever changing.
See,
Nothing's
that sounds
definite.
dumb. It would have sounded better if they said like our gravitational pull is pulling the moon
Stronger,
closer to
stronger.
us.
Yeah, that would have
sounded like okay, yeah,
Yeah.
because the Earth we have a lot more people. I guess more people on the Earth that makes it a gravitational pull or some shit.
Speaking of Earth, da, 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 da.
Last and not
last
least.
but not least, the last subject.
I believe it's flat.
Boom! There
Not
it is.
moving, just stationary. We're on an infinite plane that just goes on forever. I've seen mountains hundreds of miles away that if you do the math on around the planet, so many miles, it basically
There's a 6,000 foot drop for every 100 miles. as far as
yeah,
temperature
there's so
is
much
supposed to
drop per so many miles, and if the math is right on around Earth, well, you can only see so far before something drops out of your view. Well, I've seen mountains hundreds of miles away, and if something is over 100 miles away, well, the drop should be so far down that I should not be able to see
beneath
that.
You.
Yeah.
It'd be beneath you. Yeah.
So it's like a horizontal escalator. Like it just keeps going flat and it goes underneath and then it just keeps going.
A conveyor belt?
Yeah, conveyor belt.
I mean, see, as the years have gone by, like first I heard Flat Earth, you guys fuck crazy
I
nuts.
thought so too.
Now, when they bring up points like that, well, if there was curvature, it's like, okay, you got me on that. It's just like if you put a pencil on a ball, like the pencil it's no longer touching the ball, right? It's only really touching at one point exactly. as it releases. So I think about that. I think about just the idea of like, as I'm standing right here, or not I'm sitting, but as I'm standing on my feet, that someone on the opposite side of exactly where I'm at on the earth is standing upside down. That's crazy, because at all times it's just no matter.
Well, that would be the gravity. That would be the explanation
which is
of gravity.
the explanation for that is gravity. But the thing is too is like everybody sees a high sun in the side at one point in time of wherever they're at, right? Like even if you're on the bottom of Australia, you still see like the sun, like it'll be above you at some point in the day.
But it's not lit.
Other than Alaska.
It's just like, the moon, when it's out during the day, it's,
What if it's like the conveyor belt thing? It's like we're on the conveyor belt and the moon or sun are just rotating around us. Just keep going.
I mean, because the original thought was that the sun moved around the Earth. Was the original, like, the old time people thought. And then they also thought it was flat back then. And then they switched it up. My argument, I hear the arguments for it. Now my arguments against it is like, seeing what we see, which is like the moon, and you see the stars, and you see the sun, and you see a lot of these planets and telescopes and shit. They're all around. So it's weird to me like that we would be the only thing in the universe is just flat with, while everything else around us is round.
How come you can't see the stars when you get into space?
I've never been to space. I don't know.
If you there's some pictures of astronauts actually getting up into our atmosphere, and when you get so far up there, it just blacks out.
Well, see, that was part of the moon landing thing, was that there was no stars in their videos. If we did go.
Yeah.
So, but that would lead to believe, like, okay, so if you believe that, if you're saying, why isn't there no stars, and that could lead to flat Earth, then that would also mean the moon landing was real.
Yeah, it makes you question it, yeah.
So then, if you're like, well, the moon landing was fake because there wasn't no stars, then that would lead to, like, okay, well, maybe Earth is round.
Do you guys believe when we look up into the sky right now, there are actual stars? Because I think they're just satellites. Like majority of them are satellites.
I think they're suns from hella far away. I mean, as what's been explained, right?
But you can see the satellites moving. You can't see the stars moving.
I think like the North Star, that's an actual thing. Or is it? Like if it's just a satellite.
They've been using that shit before satellites were invented. They were using the stars.
That's how they made compasses.
Yeah.
Is with the North Star. Like,
They're prisons for the God's angels. Book of Enoch, he explains that.
What the stars are prisons.
The Book of Enoch.
Stars are prisons.
Woo, that was tough. That was a tough one right there.
If you actually look up on YouTube, some amateur people are getting, with like P90 cameras and whatnot, zooming into these stars and just getting an actual amateur look of these stars. You would see on some of them like a hexagon type design. Those are the prisons that are holding these angels.
Shit.
Some of them are just so out of whack and so colorful. They're just throwing so much color out. I honestly couldn't tell you those are the same thing as prisons, as what the Book of Enoch explains. But
now, from what I've also heard, which I don't know if it's true or not, I mean, there's a lot of rumors about it, is that we technically have never taken a real picture of the full Earth. We can't get that far out to get an actual one camera shot. Where we're doing like camera shots of pieces of it and putting it together. It's a composite, more or less.
Exactly.
If you do look at the history of the pictures that we have of Earth, they're always different colors, different shade, different dark
it's all
blue, light
CGI.
blue, like aqua blue, dark blue, navy blue,
different
bright blue.
sizes of
how's the water always change?
The water's always changing colors.
How's the water change colors?
And not just parts of it. The whole Earth water changes colors in these different pictures.
But how's the continents even change? The size of the continents even change?
My thing is, if the original thought was that it was like Mesopotamia or whatever that broke up,
Pangea.
how are we never forever gliding? How do we just become anchored into one spot?
Exactly. We're not gliding back into it.
Pangea, ladies and gentlemen.
Same school.
When we're flying, so if we're flying from here to China, on the other side of the world, right? Well, if the pilot is flying, wouldn't he have to point the nose of the plane down, or else if he'd fly straight, he would eventually fly into space. Exactly.
But he's an autopilot, so it does it by itself.
Someone told me gravity once.
Well, it's an equalizer, so it stays like in the balance.
Supposedly, we're still within the atmosphere to be gravitized.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't have no thrusters on your plane, you just fall down.
Mm-hmm.
So the gravity's still strong enough to create some type of pull where we don't float off, but we also have strong enough like engines where we could, if we wanted to, probably just keep going. Because you got the SR-71 stealth, jets that go like right on the tip of the atmosphere, where they're kind of fucking around a little bit right there, as reported. Who knows? But it's kind of one of those things where it's like, I think it's gotten to the point where you can't prove flat earthers wrong, but you can't prove round earthers wrong. You know what I mean? It's like still, it kind of was something we all accepted, but now it's back up for debate. Like someone brought it out, someone got the receipts, and they were like, "Hold on, Playboy, these things don't make sense." Because I think like a lot of the points you make are very valid points. If we are on a ball, but then I think of that too is like we can, at least we believe we are, but when we leave the airport, we can go left or right, east or west, and we can end up in the same spot if we go long enough in both directions. Like you said, if we fly to China, we go this way, we get to China, but if we wanted to go that way, we can still get to China somehow.
Yeah.
So that leads me to the ball theory. But like what you're saying with the curvature, with the drop, with that type of shit, it's kind of like, okay, I can hear that. I mean, if I just look at a basketball, we can do all these experiments, as far as that type of shit. So it's a good point. And fuck, man, I mean, it's probably the biggest conspiracy out there. The biggest movement.
Yeah.
And some people right now, 1,000% convinced it's not even a conspiracy.
Yeah.
Now, my thing is, what does it matter enough to even argue about?
Hiding land.
Huh?
Hiding land.
Because there are places that are no-fly zones. You have, Antarctica and North Pole, the two supposed axes. You're not allowed to fly over. No country is, supposedly. So that leaves, like, why not? If there's nothing there, why can't I just,
What if they're preserving a lot of stuff there? Because it's
cold.
cold.
There, man.
Cold keeps everything preserved. Any tissues, anything they're trying to hide, they could get preserved there. Hitler
So you're talking about the food, the seed bank that's there?
Yeah.
Yeah, what if Antarctica is just the worldwide cemetery of crazy? You know what I mean? Like, that's where they bury all these crazy fucking Saddam.
Or what if it's the world's sperm bank of crazy people? Like that's what they produce crazy people.
We're getting crazy now.
All kinds of sperm on ice over there.
They got Hitler sperm. They mix it with a little bit of Stalin sperm.
Yeah, that's crazy. Now, so where you guys at with the round Earth versus flat Earth?
I'm 30-70 that it doesn't believe, but 70 that it's like that it's round. That's because I grew up believing that it's round. So I want to see some proof. That's why I'm 30% that I'm open to it. But I want to see some proof that it is flat.
I'm 80-20, man. 80-20 circle.
I think I'm about 90-10 circle, but the 10 has grown from 0.
Yeah.
So, we're getting there. It's like it might be 15 in a couple years.
My one argument with
the
it
needle
is
is moving up.
It is.
My one argument is that if it's flat and it really does have two sides, how's the water staying put on either side? If it's gravity, I understand, but what's it preventing it from just or it says
the
water falling off the world?
Is it a table that you're kind of believing in where there is just water falls?
So this is the world right here. This is the table, the world.
So there is a theory, picture a large table, but picture this piece of paper is the picture this large table, but picture it full of ice.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All right, and then now you have the sun and the moon that's hovering above us. The sun is what's melted out this ice, which is this little white spot.
The sun is going around in a circle?
Yes, it's going in circles.
So by that theory, Antarctica would be the middle of the Earth?
No, Antarctica will be on the edge. We'll be on the edge of the Earth.
So we're like a pool table.
Yes.
So what's in the middle of the Earth?
Us.
The world.
The middle of the Earth is the North Pole. That's a whole nother talk right there.
Where's the South Pole then?
They talk about the gate of heavens in the middle of the Earth. I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
If the North Pole's in the middle, where's the South Pole?
So Antarctica
South Pole is on the edge.
Antarctica is a whole pizza crust around the table.
Yes.
So no matter which direction you head down,
it's keeping all the water
south,
in. It's keeping us in. Yes.
It's our border.
So yes. Antarctica is our border, and we have the sun and the moon. That basically the sun's what carved this ice out. That's relieved all this land. So picture that pocket right there, and other I guess you could say planets would be these pockets in this infinite plane. Okay. Because if there's talk about going down to Antarctica they talk about them seeing two suns down there at certain points of the time, and that could be another sun.
Could it be
just
a mirage
orbiting.
of a sun or a regular sun, just because all the ice reflection, all that shit?
No.
Well, you just said about Antarctica being on the edge. It would make sense to why everybody's worried about global warming, because how is all of a sudden everybody equally water's raising? You get me? Water level all around the world is equally going higher. It's like, unless the water evenly is melting from all around us, that it just goes up.
There you
But
go.
I mean, it could be all the people too, though. I mean, I know you ain't never been, but if y'all ever been to the club, where the hell motherfuckers there? That shit get hot fast, bro. Body heat is real. If we're overpopulated and we're getting more overpopulated, we could also be helping with melting shit down.
Yeah.
Just,
So we're melting it from the middle, outwards.
Not only that, but
from the
like
surface, all
carbon
the sun is also
emission.
helping.
But if he said the Antarctica's around us
gas.
and we're in the middle, pretty much, how are we melting the ice and how we melting it even?
Because I would think in
I
your
just said
theory,
it.
there's still an atmosphere, right?
But how's it melting evenly so
There
that
is that-
everybody's
we're
water's
actually in
rising
a
the
dome.
same?
carbon, green gas.
Simpson dome, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly.
know,
There you
for
go.
lack of better-
They explained it. Yeah,
That would be our
We're in a
atmosphere.
dome.
See, I think the way you put it out, because those kind of answers some of the other questions. So if you're saying the middle is the North Pole, and then everything on the outer edge, the pizza crust, is Antarctica, meaning that no matter what country you're in, as long as you're going south of your direction, you're going to Antarctica.
Yeah.
Which by the ball, that's the same thing. You end up Antarctica.
Yeah,
So if you're in anywhere in the world and you're going south, if it's on a flat plane, you're going outward. That would be
this
Antarctica.
is how they
full
can
crust.
hide the ball
And
on
then
a
the
flat
sun
or flat
would
on the
be
ball.
sun would be pretty much making a little snow angel in the middle, a little snow donut in
Mm-hmm.
the middle. So it never really goes right over the North Pole, so that kind of stays cold. But it goes around the land part. The equator would be a ring within the ring.
So as it goes around the north, it does this it does this like goes outwards
Pendulum?
further, yeah, and then as it this is how we get different times, different seasons, because the sun is way out here.
So it's not a perfect circle; it's still an oval rotation kind of.
Well, it's moving around, but as it's moving around, it's going in and out. The sun is. So as it's going around, it's closer to the North Pole, and as it's going in a circle, it's getting further and further away from the North Pole and it's getting closer to the South Pole. That's what creates our different seasons. And then once it's doing that cycle, it goes back in as it's going around.
So by that way, I'm not a physics professor, but judging off that, then it would seem like to go out, it would have to be going faster. To come in, it would have to be going slower. Just like when we get on the rig. You know what I'm saying? The faster you hit it, the more the G-force puts you out. And then when you go slower, it starts coming back. So that would be varying speeds, right?
Wouldn't that explain our longer days and nights at certain times of the year?
Damn, the fucking spring back, fall, fall forward, spring back.
Yep. Because the sun is moving out as it's moving around. We're 24 hours, so it still goes around the entire world within 24 hours.
Now, how many ancient cultures believed in this same theory?
Oh, wow.
I know a lot of them. I think the Mayans also believe.
I think mine, yeah.
The old Greeks, Romans. Pretty much almost every old civilization, I think, had the world being flat with a round sun. But shit. So you're on what percentage?
I think it's 100%. I went through a funk when my realization from all the information that I learned came to like a realization of what I was learning and what I've seen and what I was lied to. My whole persona went into a funk. I was not me for a whole week because I felt that it was a tremendous lie that I had to come over, but I knew it was a lie. So I was just in this weird feeling for a whole week. But I finally accepted that it was a giant lie, and the information that I've received was like just mind blown. So it really threw me in a funk when I finally just accepted the information. It was like, whoa.
So we got a friend that's 100%.
Yeah.
The Earth is flat. And he's got shit to back it up. We will put links in the comments. So you guys can check out shit on your own. Anything you heard of here,
Let
go
us
ahead
know
and
what
dig
you
into
think.
it.
Let us know what you think.
What are some conspiracy theories you think? There might be a part 2 to this next time the homie comes to visit. So
we might have missed some.
Yeah, we might miss some, or maybe we're misinformed. Like,
Shit.
we didn't do any top.
If you got some
research.
crazy conspiracy you want to let us know, you want us to, look into, let us know.
Yeah, I ain't gonna research that shit, but I'll watch a YouTube video.
Put a link on my
for me.
And on that note,
Mixta
Boyz
Boyz out.